You're 55 years old, on a fixed income, watching the grocery bill creep up just a little more every month. And you wonder, is there a way where life doesn't depend entirely on the number in your bank account? The answer had been right in front of me for 20 years. I just never saw it. 15 plants. If you know how to grow them, they can save you over $2,000 every year. And one of them, you might be sitting on it right now and not even know it. But before I show you that plant, let me tell you something. At 55, when I looked at my retirement account, I felt small and a little scared. I thought, it's too late. What can I possibly do at this age? Then an older friend showed me a small corner of his garden and said, "Start here. Take it slow." 3 years later, that small garden didn't just give me fresh vegetables every day. It gave me back something I thought I'd lost, a sense of purpose, a sense of control, and the savings. $2,000 a year is real money. Today, I'm going to show you the 15 plants I wish I'd known about 20 years ago. Starting with plant number 1. The first plant I want to share with you is the one that completely changed how I think about gardening after 50. Jerusalem artichokes, also called sunchokes. And here's why they're perfect for people over 50. You plant them once and they live forever. Let that sink in. One planting, decades of food. Sunchokes are perennial tubers. That means every spring they come back without you doing anything extra. They grow 8 to 10 feet tall with bright yellow flowers. But the real magic is underground. The tubers multiply like crazy. One tuber becomes 10. 10 become 50. You're literally growing food that reproduces itself. And here's the beautiful part. You don't worry about storing tubers through winter. You don't dig them all up. Leave them in the ground. The soil is your natural refrigerator. Harvest what you need when you need it. The rest stay fresh underground until next spring. Nutrition, high in inulin. Great for blood sugar. Great for digestion. Taste, sweet, crunchy, nutty like water chestnuts. How to grow. Plant them in a corner of your garden. They grow 8 to 10 feet tall, so they need space. Full sun or partial shade, both work. They'll grow in almost any soil. One small warning, they can spread. Plant them where you want them to stay or use an underground barrier. Think about this. 1 tuber in the ground this spring. Next year, 10 tubers. The year after, 50. Food that multiplies itself without you doing anything. That's plant number 1. Sunchokes are plant and forget it. Then, walking onions are plant and watch the magic. This is an onion that self-propagates. And I don't mean it drops seeds to self-propagate. I mean, it literally walks across your garden. Sound crazy? Let me explain. Walking onions grow little bulbs on top of the stem instead of making seeds. When those top bulbs get heavy, the stem bends over, the bulbs touch the ground, and they root themselves. That's how they walk, slowly spreading year after year without you planting anything. Every part is edible. Green tops like scallions, underground bulbs like regular onions, top bulbs like shallots, but sweeter. They'll multiply, spread, and give you onions 10 months out of the year. And if you think about the price of scallions at the store, $3 to $5 per bunch, gone in a few meals, walking onions pay for themselves in the first few months. Then just let them do their thing. They'll multiply, spread, and give you onions 10 months a year. It's like having a self-maintaining onion garden. I know what you're thinking. Grow mushrooms? Too hard. But it's actually easier than you think, and they grow fast. From spawn to edible mushroom takes 4 to 6 weeks. This third plant provides something most gardens lack. Protein. Oyster mushrooms. They're not a plant, obviously, but if you're serious about growing your own food, especially after 50, you need protein sources. Oyster mushrooms are packed with protein, high in vitamin D, full of antioxidants, and they taste amazing. Buy oyster mushroom spawn plugs, sawdust, or liquid culture. Find fresh logs. Hardwood works best. Oak, beech. Inoculate the logs. Keep them moist and shaded. One inoculated log can produce several pounds of mushrooms every few weeks for 6 to 12 months. Got a dark, damp corner in your yard? That's perfect for mushrooms. Turn useless space into a protein source. One important note: only eat mushrooms you are 100% sure you can identify. Oyster mushrooms are easy to identify, but if you're ever unsure, don't eat it. This fourth plant is special because it gives you two completely different types of food, one from leaves, one from seeds, summer and winter from the same plant. Amaranth is an ancient grain. Aztecs and Incas grew it for thousands of years. Summer, dark green leaves. Eat them like spinach. High protein, high iron, delicious. Fall. The plant sends up huge flower heads. Red, purple, gold, stunning. And those flowers hold thousands of tiny seeds. One plant can give you over half a pound of seeds. Amaranth seeds are gluten-free, high protein, and you can cook them like quinoa, grind them into flour, or pop them like popcorn. And amaranth self-seeds. Leave a few flower heads to drop seeds naturally. Next year they come back. Plus, it loves heat. When other greens are wilting in 90-degree Fahrenheit weather, amaranth is thriving. Greens in summer, grain in fall. One plant, two harvests forever. That's crop 4. This fifth plant is a fruit most people have never heard of, but once you taste it, you'll wonder why nobody grows it. Ground cherries. They're like a tiny tomato meets a pineapple. Sweet, slightly tart, tropical, small, golden, with a papery husk around each fruit, like a little lantern. And here's the cool part. They self-seed. Plant once, and they come back every year from dropped fruit. They're in the tomato family, but way more productive. One plant can give you pounds of fruit, hundreds of little marble-sized fruits all summer. The fruit falls to the ground when ripe. Pick them every few days. They keep in their husks at room temperature for weeks. No refrigeration needed. Just leave them in a bowl on your counter. They handle neglect really well. Irregular watering? Fine. Poor soil? They'll manage. And they fruit from midsummer straight through the first frost. When fresh fruit gets expensive or hard to find, having something this sweet and productive in your yard is a gift. 5 plants down. Stop for a second. 5 plants. If you just had these 5, you'd have tubers, onions, mushrooms, grain, and fruit. 5 types of food, perennial or self-seeding, low maintenance. And I want to know, out of these first 5, which one makes you think, I want to try this? Drop a comment below right now because the next part, the remaining 10 plants, are even better. And one of them, I call it the game changer plant. Let's keep going. Now, we continue. And this next plant, I wish I'd known about it 10 years ago because it solves a problem no other plant can solve. Greens all seasons, perennial, low maintenance. Sea kale. Sea kale is a perennial vegetable in the brassica family like broccoli and kale, but tougher. Survives freezing winters, handles drought, pest resistant, and it can live 20 years. Let that sink in. Plant once, harvest for 20 years. Spring, young shoots emerge, white, crisp, sweet like asparagus. Summer, green leaves. Eat fresh in salads or cook like kale. Start from transplants or root cuttings. Plant in well-draining soil, full sun. Year 1, be patient. Let it establish roots. Year 2 onward, light harvest. Year 3, full harvest. This is a patient plant. But once established, it'll produce for you longer than almost any other plant. While your neighbors are waiting for spring to plant lettuce, You're harvesting fresh greens right through the snow. That's Turkish rocket, a brassica green like arugula, but way tougher. It survives winter, returns every spring, and gives you spicy greens from March through November. You harvest it like lettuce, cut leaves, leave the base, it regrows. Flavor: peppery, spicy, makes any dish more flavorful. It produces from early spring through late fall. In mild climates, it never really stops. And because it's perennial, every few years you divide the roots. One plant becomes 5 plants, free. Poor soil, no fertilizer needed. Cold? It laughs at freezing temperatures. When other greens give up, Turkish rocket is just getting started. Start from one plant. Plant in sun or light shade. One of the few greens that likes shade. Zones 5 through 9 all work well. The colder it gets, the better it tastes. Don't worry about snow. It handles it. Plant it and forget it. Having a plant that gives you greens when the grocery store is selling wilted, expensive lettuce? That's freedom. From above-ground greens, now we go underground to tubers that'll make you forget about potatoes. Mashua. You've probably never heard this name, but in South America, they've grown it for thousands of years like North Americans grow potatoes. And it's crazy that almost nobody in the US grows it, because mashua isn't just easy to grow. It yields higher than potatoes with fewer problems. Mashua is related to nasturtiums. The whole plant is edible. Spicy leaves, beautiful flowers, but the tubers are the star. One plant can give you 4 to 10 pounds of tubers. Tastes like spicy radish mixed with potato. Slightly peppery. Very unique. Roasted, boiled, fried. Use it like potatoes. And here's why you should grow it. In the US, pests don't recognize it. Your neighbor's potatoes are getting blight. Your mashua is thriving. Plant in spring, harvest in fall after frost. They like cool weather and make tubers when days get short. Poor soil. No fertilizer? No problem. Save a few tubers to replant next year. Guaranteed food. And because almost nobody grows it here, you're growing a gold mine nobody knows about. Mashua is tuber number 2. Surprising and interesting, right? But now I want to share a principle. Not all the best food grows underground. Sometimes the smartest way to grow more is to stop thinking horizontally and start thinking vertically. Regular spinach is great in spring, but when temperatures hit 85 degrees, it's done. You lose your green source all summer. That's when Malabar spinach shines. It's not true spinach, but it does the same job while loving the heat that spinach hates. Malabar spinach is a vine. It climbs fences, trellises, or arbors. The hotter it gets, the faster it grows. You keep cutting leaves. It keeps producing continuously all summer. Thick leaves, slightly mucilaginous when cooked. Perfect for thickening soups and stews. Not the same texture as true spinach, but nutritional value equivalent. And because it grows vertically, you produce more food in less space. When garden space is scarce, grow up, not out. Sow seeds near a fence or trellis. Give it full sun, plenty of water. In warm climates, it self-seeds. In cold climates, grow as an annual. Still worth it. One vine can give you greens all summer in a 1-foot wide space. That's smart thinking. 9 plants down. One final tuber. And this is the one I think you should grow if you're tired of potato diseases. Then after that, I'm going to show you something that will make you look at your yard completely differently. Look at these tubers. Pink, red, yellow, orange. Like candy, but real food. This is oca. Another South American tuber like potatoes, but with a lemony flavor. Oca plants in spring, grows all summer, but only makes tubers when days get short in fall. One plant can give you a couple of pounds of tubers. The flavor is tangy, slightly sour when fresh, but here's the cool trick. After harvest, leave the tubers in the sun for a few days. Starches convert to sugars. The longer they sit, the sweeter they get. Then roast them, like sweet potatoes, but different. Kids love them. And because oca is in a different family than potatoes, potato blight and pests don't affect it. Your neighbor loses their potato crop, your oca is perfect. Plus, because almost nobody grows it here, you're not competing with anyone. Under the radar, underappreciated. The plant I call the game changer. The plant millions of Americans are sitting on every day and don't know it's food. Daylilies. You've seen them millions of times in your neighbor's garden, along the roadside, maybe in your own yard. Pretty orange or yellow flowers, summer bloom. You probably thought, nice flowers. But here's what almost nobody knows. Every part of the daylily plant is edible. Tubers, edible. Shoots, edible. Flower buds, edible. Flowers, edible. You're sitting on a food source you thought was just ornamental. One plant, 4 types of food across 3 seasons, and they live forever. Perennial, spreading. 0 maintenance. Spring, dig tubers, taste like sweet potatoes. Early summer, cut shoots, taste like asparagus. Midsummer, pick flower buds, taste like green beans. Peak summer, eat flowers. Crispy, slightly sweet. Maybe right now in your yard there are years' worth of free food waiting for you to discover. That's the game changer. One extremely important note. Only eat true daylilies. Hemerocallis species. Some other types of lilies are toxic. Double check before eating. If you're not sure, ask an expert. Research. Don't risk it. After daylilies, I want to come back to a vegetable Europeans grew for centuries, but has almost vanished from modern gardens. Good King Henry. It's in the quinoa and spinach family, and you can eat everything. Spring. Young shoots taste like asparagus. Summer. Leaves work like spinach. Late season, flower buds cook like broccoli. 3 seasons of harvest from one perennial plant that lives for years. And here's the rare thing. It likes shade. Most vegetables need sun. Good King Henry thrives in those dark corners you thought were useless. Plant once in partial shade. Zones 3 to 8 work well. 0 maintenance once established. Turn useless shade space into 3 different vegetables. That's crop 12. 3 more, and these are quick because we've covered them in detail. Number 13. Perennial greens. Sea kale, Turkish rocket types. Plant once, eat forever. Survive winter, thrive in spring. We covered them in detail. You remember them. 4 types of perennial greens, meaning decades of free greens. Let that sink in for a moment. Number 14. Perennial herbs. Oregano, thyme, sage, mint. Plant once, use for life. Make every meal taste better. No fertilizer, minimal water. Plant it and forget it. And sometimes the smallest things make the biggest difference in your garden. Herbs are the spice of self-sufficiency. Tiny, but they define flavor. And number 15, the last one. Perennial onions. Walking onions we covered, plus Welsh onions, Egyptian onions, all self-propagating, live forever. 10 months of onions every year. Never buy scallions again. That's 15. 15 plants that can change the way you grow your own food after 50. Now, I know what you're thinking. Great. But where do I buy these? That's the question I get most. So, I created a free shopping guide with over 50 suppliers organized by region, with discount codes when available. Link in the description below. First pinned comment. Download it, print it, and start ordering for this growing season, because knowing information isn't enough. You need to know the next steps, and that's exactly what this guide gives you. And you might wonder, is saving $2,000 a year actually feasible? Let's do the math. Greens, $600 a year instead of buying. Tubers, $400 a year. Potatoes, mashua, and oca. Herbs, $200 a year, no more buying. Mushrooms, $300 a year. Fresh protein. Onions and herbs, $200 a year. Fruit, ground cherries and daylilies, $300 a year. Total, around $2,000. Not magic, just simple math. Thank you for staying all the way here. 15 plants, 1 shopping guide, 1 community. If you found this video helpful, and I hope at least 1 or 2 plants made you think, I want to try this, hit the like button to let me know. Comment which plant you're most excited about. I read everyone and will respond. And if you want to see the next part, zone-specific deep dives, troubleshooting, success stories, subscribe and turn on the bell. Finally, the Facebook group Garden After 50 Community is waiting for you. Link in the description. This is where we learn together, share, and grow. Next video, I'll show you exactly how to grow these 5 plants for your zone with timelines, tips, and mistakes to avoid. Until then, grow with us, thrive with us. See you soon.